Hello, and welcome to Newark by Night. This will be our post-mortem. It is a chance for us to talk about the game, the hit, now that it's more or less over, and where our characters might have gone from there, what led us to get involved in this in the first place, all the other things that people talk about in a post-mortem for a stream. Um, I will go ahead and start things off and say, because Katie is one of the originals. Hey, Katie, how did the idea come up in the first place?
Wex can also help with this. I forget whose idea was it, but I think it was when Crafty was still on the team.
Yeah, it was Crafty.
We were approached basically to do a What We Do in the Shadows style game. And Crafty invited a bunch of us to play because she thought it would be very fun. We had a storyteller. Seemed really cool until he said some things that were not so cool.
No, that ended that real quick.
Then I think we got another storyteller. Same thing happened, and then we were like, "Well, we know this guy named Jeremiah,
who's not a complete and total, oxygen,
So next thing you know, we roped Jeremiah into this, and he created the world of Newark as we knows it.
I looked. The original email I got was in August of 2022. And
3 years going strong.
Yeah, and they were like, "Hey, would you be interested in running this?" And my response at the time was, "Yeah, I guess. Like, it sounds interesting. The schedule works out." And he's like, "Oh yeah, and it has all of these people. Oh, I know all those people. All right." And I will go ahead and bring another one of those people on. Hi, Mouse.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
Well, anyways.
Mouse is working through audio problems, I'm guessing. Or not. Maybe
I can hear y'all.
Okay.
I was like,
wonderful.
I hear nothing. That's a problem. Sorry, bedtime got away from me.
No, you're good.
I walked out and I was like, let's see how much time I have. 9:01. Oh, shit.
It happens.
It happens to the best of us.
It was very cartoonish. I was like, go this way. No, go this way. No, go this way. Because I was like, laptop, desktop.
We were just talking about how it all started. That there were players before there was an ST. Is the way that worked. Is originally the players came up with the idea with different STs and the different.
Crafty and I were in it with our original producer, just being like, we want this. Somebody be our storyteller.
I'm getting a little bit of lag on mouse.
Yeah, that's a little like something going on there. Choppy.
Yeah.
So. It could be my internet.
It's possible.
Entirely probable.
But anyways, as far as it goes, when they came to me, I was like, okay, I get the assignment. Let's figure out what I'm going to do with these very crazy character concepts, because all of them were like misfit characters. Like the one functioning brain cell belonged to the ghoul in the party, and everybody else was completely strange. I was like, okay, I think I know how to work with this. And we went a decent amount of time there. Crafty was with us back then, and it was a good vibe. And then eventually we had this idea. Okay, let's do an Oops All Ghouls.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did an Oops All Ghouls, and and that's when we brought in Andi as Amelia. Was the first Oops All Ghouls.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that like for you? Like you're
Well,
coming into this dynamic.
well, for me, I was just excited to be playing a game with y'all. And I was just like, all right, this is a one shot. Let's just give it my all. And after the game had ended, I just really enjoyed how you ran the game. I went back and I watched the episodes you'd already filmed. I really enjoyed the dynamic there. So I was just like, hey, if you need like a guest spot to fill in, like I'd be happy to be a recurring character. And then I was invited to the next one, and then the next one immediately. And before I knew it, I was just like 3 years later. I'm like, holy! I was just supposed to. I just thought I was gonna be, just sometimes character. But time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting because I came into the group, this really zany group, as probably like the most straight-laced character, because Sage, yeah, she might have had the one brain cell, but she belonged to a Malkavian, so there's still a little bit of loopiness there, and it just felt like a nice fit.
Residual milk.
Exactly.
You can't unmilk. Not all the way.
That's possible. I had a question that occurred to me. It would be a good question to ask, and I will start with Mouse because I'm feeling whimsical. Where did you get the idea for Prunella? Like each of you will be asked the same question, so be prepping.
It's been 3 years. You think I remember? Crap. Because I know it came down to farming.
Mhm.
It was the farming. It was the me being like, so if a Ventru could be a farmer, man, I am lagging bad.
Yeah,
It's better than it was.
But at least your
Yeah, much
audio
better.
is
the audio is better, so you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. But just I became super. I was just like, if a Ventru could be a farmer, if it wasn't a rule that they can't be that, how would you go about being a Ventru who is a farmer? You'd have to have purebreds. You'd be looking for dog breeders, and you'd be hitting up horse tracks, and you'd be breaking into zoos. Yeah, that's what's going on here.
Yeah,
If
I
it was
remember.
a different kind of difficult hurdle, I would say definitely Real Scope would have raised it to kind of the same difficulty that the Nosferatu have. It's like, I don't just have to go and seduce a person. I have to go look for a rare breed of animal, and we're in New Jersey.
You spent entirely too much time in pet stores.
And then there was also that was concept for a vampire. The person was Fran Drescher.
Absolutely.
And pretty much any character from Big Fat Greek Wedding. Just the whole family.
Yeah, I remember when you asked me, "Hey, can I take Farmer as a Ventru?" And I considered the original series pitch, which was what we do in the Shadows meets World of Darkness. I was like, for that tone, yes, this makes sense.
No, it's just too good. And then you started us off with the worst moment ever.
Scruffy!
Scruffy.
His missing
R.I.P.
poster's still
Scruffy.
up.
Rip Scruffy.
Those posters never got taken down. If
No,
any
no.
of you tried, Sage was fighting someone.
Yeah. So for those of you who did not watch the first episode, I started it out with her waking up and needing to feed, and she had a little dog, and she fed on the little dog, and whose name was Scruffy, and then they had to get rid of Scruffy.
He was a labradoodle.
And
Hey, let's fast forward
That's an
like
expensive
a year
breakfast.
and 11 months. Let's fast forward like a year and 18 months. A year and a half from that. And I'm feeding on a pet again. And for the first time, this man asks, "Are you going to try to not kill it?" I'm sorry. Is this a new option that just came out? Has this been an option the whole time? There didn't need to be that many lost dog and cat. Are you fucking kidding me? It's been 2 years, McCoy.
and led to one of the best running gags in the whole show.
It
It's
did.
with the posters.
He's like, "Do you need to feed?" "No, I'm good. It's fine." You know when he feels bad for me when he's like, "Gold will let you go feed on one of his prize racehorses." Okay.
Well, all right. Moving on. Wex, where did you get the idea for Ollie?
Ooh. Initially I wanted somebody who just felt very out of place, particularly because we had this concept of like they all tried in New York and it did not work out as a baseline. You had to kind of live in a little lower tier city from a Kindred standpoint. And I'm like, who would just not fit in New York at all? And I'm like, a lunkhead artist Toreador from California fits the bill perfectly for that. And I made him a little like a borderline pacifist, with some exceptions. That sort of over time sort of steadily declined. My pacifism.
I would argue that he thought he was a pacifist because he didn't understand what the word meant.
That's fair.
His
Means
feeding
that
method
pacifist
was mugging people in the alleys. So
he didn't see it as mugging. He saw it more as a
aggressive marketing.
No, in the beginning, you always made it clear. He thinks awe. He thinks daunt is awe. He's using daunt, but he thinks he's using awe.
100%. That was
like
what was
the
going
first
on
whole
there.
year. Every time he was like, so he's gonna use presents, but he thinks he's using awe.
It's fine,
but he's not.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Katie, how about you? Where did Sage spring from?
So Sage wasn't even my idea. It just spurred off of Crafty saying, "Oh yeah, Feather is definitely one of those crystal girls who believes in having Sage around." Plot twist: Sage isn't the actual like Sage you burn; it's a ghoul. And I was like, "Oh, that would be fun to just play a Malkavian's ghoul who's like this crystal girl, and the way that she convinces her Domitor, who's in denial of being a kindred, to feed her, is being like, it's Eastern medicine. Blood transfusions have to be fed to me. and you have the rare blood type that I need for my blood transfusions. And it was just a whole thing. And then after that, I kind of fleshed out a little bit more of like why she kind of like fed into that and did more of a double life thing. Like, no, she's actually really smart. She's just putting on an act because her odometer will literally lose her shit if you say anything Kindred related. And that was fun to navigate for a while until it got us in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, well, kindred society. That's kind of works that way.
Mhm.
So, Andy, where did Amelia come from? What was your thinking?
So, because the initial concept was just for a one shot, right? And I really like to play like socially based characters in the World of Darkness, much more so than in any other system. And so I had this idea of a ghoul that had enough of her treatment that she had rebelled and was on the run. So I had somebody who needed to be subtle, who needed to be manipulative, who needed to be a lot of these things to kind of like cast suspicion away. And my idea actually came from the Daredevil character Jerry Hogarth, played by Carrie Ann Moss. I really liked her sort of. I really liked the way that she played the character. Somebody who was no nonsense, really able to cut through the bullshit, and also had like a secretive, soft side that she didn't really want to talk about, and just kind of ran with it from there. Whenever I hopped into Newark, um, it was really interesting because for almost the entirety of time that I was a ghoul, there was always a little bit of suspicion from people around here. Not naming names. But it was a really nice tension because my character Amelia was still a very ambitious woman. She was going to get power her own way and then ended up with these misfits and just spent more time like trying to cover for them.
It's not really how
And
bitches get money over here.
and yeah, and then after that, she became a thin blood and went from being like the sort of like the straight laced one to being just a little bit kooky, especially with all of the inadvertent time and bonding experience between her and Ronaldo. Like that was unexpected.
That whole Ronaldo arc was just very unexpected, like everything else.
It was so fucking cool.
Okay. What was each of yours favorite bit from the campaign?
There's so many good running jokes.
I was like, bit? You mean Scruffy?
No, like
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
different.
Let's say Flesh Tunnel is our longest running bit.
I mean, maybe.
Technically, Scruffy is.
I mean, Scruffy might be the longest one.
They're both the same episode, but
oh.
one definitely happens before the other.
We did sort of like the roommates bit did die off.
The
that
roommate.
that was a lot of fun.
That was like the bit of the first season. And they
Yeah. I had a roommate in college.
were
Yeah, Feather's mom going, "Oh no, I understand. I had a roommate in college."
That was another good one.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I really liked
And-
the foreshadowing of Ronaldo's power coming back through means of an accidental double entendre. Katie, you remember that one, right?
Oh yeah, yep. That was a beautiful one because Jeremiah is setting the scene, and then I'm sitting there trying so hard to hold it together, and then nope, Andi just voices it, and I'm like, all right, if Andy's laughing, I'll also be a degenerate.
I was going through the scene, I was describing, and I realized as soon as the word left my lips that I had picked the wrong word.
Listen,
Which
discharge
which
from
one we
the
talking
tip.
about? Okay, I was like, this is
It's
this
not
is the
it's
disc-
not
okay.
it's not your fault that we're degenerates.
it
Yeah.
was
I mean, a
just
little bit.
you.
your fault.
You can't just coolly say discharge.
I was trying to describe this lightning coming out of the little magical lightning gun, thing, and like electrical discharge. It's a fairly
Yeah,
standard, innocuous
Yeah.
term.
Yeah.
And the moment I said,
No.
you see a little discharge come out of the
Discharge.
tip, and
It was
I like the words left my lips. And I was like, no, not with this
No.
crowd. No,
No,
what were
the
you
thing
thinking?
is, we all see this. We've been given the same general descriptions over and over again of Ronaldo. You know, he's in boxers, he's shirtless, he's in a t-shirt and his
Mhm.
boxers.
he's wearing nothing
He's
but an
naked.
apron.
He's naked in flip-flops. He's wearing a bucket hat and flip-flops. We've been given these different versions of generally the same 2 or 3 ideas. So you have this man in our heads and you use the word discharge?
Not just discharge from the tip. It was the
From
word
the
tip.
tip. I know it was like you did it on purpose.
I still believe you did it on purpose.
I
don't care
know.
what you say. I'm
Oh,
always
I
going to believe
didn't
it was
mean to do
intentional.
that to a dark comedy cast.
It didn't occur to me until the words left my mouth. And I went, oh no.
Like I genuinely, as soon as it happened, I tried to stifle the first one, but I saw Katie's like lips drawn real back,
We
and
were
I'm
both
like,
just sitting there like, don't laugh. We were the SpongeBob meme. We were legit the SpongeBob meme of SpongeBob and Patrick.
Yeah, no, and I should have known. I should have. I know all of you. I've been running games with you for a while. I've played with most of you. I've hung out with some of them in person. And yes, I should have known. And I didn't.
I actually find because I think about it a lot still. And I don't know if you feel the same way, Wex. The most unusual scene we ever did was when we straight up extorted that guy. You and I basically bullied that guy. You got a stain, right? No, so who got a stain? He got a stain because he had his heightened senses up because he could hear what happened after we left.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That was it's just
okay.
I don't know what possessed you and me as players. We both decided to take the scene like real VTM. We
Yeah.
didn't put any comedy or nuance into it. We both went hard in that moment. And then when it was over and you got the stain, I was like,
Yeah.
wait, we didn't have to do it that way. Why did we do it that way? We were so dark that day. And I was like, man, that was not in character for either of us. We were being awful.
I think it was in character though. I think part of it
Like
was
we were mad in character. We wanted what we
Yeah.
wanted, but we'd never been so brutal. And so I always think about it going, what happened that day?
Yeah.
We,
Who hurt us?
Yeah.
Lots of people.
By the
Also,
way, anybody in the chat, if you will have questions, put them in the chat.
yes, please do.
Yeah.
LSD.
I was gonna add on to that. Whenever you and I encountered Eileen Mouse, I mean that was also a pretty dark one. Like you might have been a little snarky, but that still felt more in the dark vibe than the humorous one. It ended up becoming humorous, where it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna calmly set you on fire, whatever. And I fail my frenzy test and immediately book it out the book.
And then because like I was like, oh, fire occurred to me too. But I was like, oh, frenzy and lots of innocents nearby that we're just apparently gonna glaze over it in the first place. And then you were just like, fire. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're on the same page. We're both
doing
gonna
this.
risk it for the biscuit. Got it.
I will say some of my favorite stuff to do. I loved doing Ronaldo. He was a strange headspace.
I had to save him.
Yeah, you did, and I loved
It
it.
had to be done.
I
Wait,
loved.
he gave us a wizard. We can't let him die.
I can fix him. No.
We want a pet wizard, right?
I mean,
Raise
yeah.
your hands. Oh, sorry, Sage.
If y'all wanted a wizard so bad, I would have read the rules for Rage.
I think I loved doing Francis. Francis was just a fun, like, he's so sleazy. He's fun to do.
Yeah.
Because he was cartoonish.
easy.
Yeah, he was cartoonishly sleazy.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from. I guess.
Yeah. He was real easy to hate. Like, real easy.
Well, he
Like-
just wanted to be a friend. It'll be
Go
fine.
away,
Eileen
Francis.
was bad, but if
He
I
was
had to
fun to
choose
hate.
between those
He was
two and
so
one of
much
them
fun to
dies-
hate.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But I always enjoyed doing that.
The first Dark Carnival was pretty kooky dukes, but I feel like last Dark Carnival, letting Prunella overhear something so complicated for Francis, which I still kind of don't know what I was getting privy to.
What you were getting privy to, I can, in retrospect, he was finding out what was going on with Sage's dad, who used to be his ghoul, and he thought was dead. That's why he was so aggravated, so angry, because this is the guy he thought was dead and knew a lot of his secrets, and knew he was connected to Sage somehow, and he didn't know how. So that's why he was getting so agitated. That was the information he was getting at the carnival. That's why he was so agitated.
Hey, Katie.
Yeah.
Where would Sage be having her honeymoon?
Knowing the coterie, she would not be having a honeymoon. She would skip it.
Oh, you don't
We could
trust
go
me to
with-
keep these folks in line?
I doubt
Come on.
he's actually going to tell us we can't leave Newark anymore. What's weird is we stuck to that rule for 3 years, and I don't know if we actually had to stick to it for the whole 3 years. We just never really asked if it had been lifted or when.
Technically, we did leave Newark for a little bit when we went to the Statue of Liberty.
But we did it under this impression that we couldn't do it because we'd get in trouble on both sides because we're not supposed to leave New Jersey. But I don't think we were under New Jersey house arrest that whole time. I just think we never were like, so are we ungrounded now?
Very true.
We killed that toreador who was trying to help that lady usurp your power. Are we ungrounded now?
I mean, yes. Yes.
Ish.
We just stayed under New Jersey house arrest for all that time just because.
I also love that, like, generally it was like our reluctance to go out that made it so funny. It's just kind of like, oh, we gotta leave the apartment.
Something bad happens when we leave the apartment. Something bad
don't wanna
happens
do
when
this
somebody knocks on the
anymore.
door. Something bad happens when the postman comes.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
I,
Dude, man.
That was
another one.
legit the energy.
Another one I enjoyed doing was Ghost Cecil.
I
Ooh,
love
that's good.
Cecil. He my
Mhm.
buddy.
Well, you should let him blow up. I mean, I'm sorry, I shouldn't. Just kidding.
I didn't want him to blow up. Y'all were like, no, let him open the box for you.
Well, we had to stop you from blowing up. Francis is cool. Whatever, it's fine.
I got to jump off a building and turn
Yeah.
into a cat. I had a good time overall.
That's why I got onto the cast. Cecil bit it.
Yep. Yeah. Cecil was Francis's old ghoul who was absolutely terrified of Francis and was given the job of watching these misfits. And he actually grew kind of attached to Sage, although he had a crush on Feather.
He did have a crush on Feather, and that I was gonna be his wingman so hard.
And he found a package that had been sent to Sage, and it was suspicious to him, so he went to go open it himself up on the roof in case it was a problem, and it turned out to be a problem. So
Just a little bit.
boom. And then he got to haunt you, and it was fun. Having a recurring ghosts is fun.
We love our haunted ghosts.
Yeah, it was just a
Absolutely.
big old spooky house
Yeah.
full of weirdos.
Yeah, no, that's one thing with the campaign. My mission was to keep it funny and at least a little light, but not forget that it was the world of darkness. So there would be heavy moments.
Yeah.
And I hope that they felt right in the moment. It's always, you're always doubting yourself when you do those things, but I'm hoping that they felt right in the moment of going from the silly to the very dramatic and serious. And both Mouse and I in the past have pointed out the beats for comedy and the beats for horror are the same. And if you figure that out, you can see easily where you can make the scary and the funny coexist. So
Yeah, I think for me, like a lot of the most, like, I don't know, the moments that left the biggest impression were the darker ones. And I think it was because it wasn't, I mean, this is your point with like timing. It wasn't always like unexpected. It was just like, oh, this is happening now. And it's yes, we are generally pretty bunch of goofballs, but having those moments where like we had to really like struggle or to like come together, I think they were like fantastic. Felt really good.
Well, things like introducing Sage's actual family.
Oh, yeah.
We don't talk about them.
No, yeah.
I mean, we do when you're not around.
Yeah, no, but having a nightmare about her mom asking Sage about the fact that she became an addict too.
No, it's not hereditary at all.
Yeah. Or the bits with Ronaldo when you realize that he was really
Slipping.
broken. Yeah, like he was.
Those
suffering
hurt.
from- yeah.
Well, I mean,
and-
Prue was pretty broken after she saved him and saw the other side of his coin. She was, I feel like for like 2 or 3 months, anytime you brought Ronaldo around, it was instantly Prue's just like, oh, here's my guilt and shame that I carry with me every day. because she just felt like she'd ruined a life. It was a very hard thing for her, especially as a doctor and a veterinarian. She's like, how do I cure whatever I've caused?
How does one go from doctor to veterinarian to fashion designer? Just what is that pipeline like?
OCD is involved.
Okay, fair enough.
Also,
I forgot that was the other thing. It wasn't enough. It was like a Ventru who's a broken farmer, Fran Drescher, and she is a germaphobe. Because that's the thing. That's another running bit. She always has Purell in her purse.
Yeah.
She always has Purell.
I'm not going into that flesh tunnel. You all have a good time.
When you get back out, and I did. I think that I did do that. Everybody came back out, and I was like, hands.
Yeah.
Hands.
As I'm carrying what turned out to be a really old Samitsi corpse, but I did not know that time.
You just like older men.
Apparently.
I think the flesh tunnel was the perfect statement on the tone of the show. Because it is
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous.
There's a flesh tunnel and a discharge from the tip. You can work with that.
Yeah,
Did you when you threw that in there, did you sort of think that flesh tunnel was going to be this running joke forever?
Oh, I knew it would take you a long time to try and figure out how to fix this particular problem. And so I knew it was going to be a running bit, but like it's very much grounded in World of Darkness and the scary end of World of Darkness, but it is also absolutely ridiculous. And I was like, this is the statement piece right here. This is ridiculous and scary at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm not going in there. You guys go in there.
Yeah, I think the series finale was the first time that Amelia even got close to where the flesh tunnel was. Like she never
Yeah.
saw it. She was just like, "I'm just gonna take your word for it."
Yes, we were all like, why would we ever go back? Why would we ever go back?
And we kept going back for carnivals or
It was a Zamitzi.
Spies.
Yeah, it was a Zamitzi. It was an extension of the Cathedral of Flesh, which was located under New York City. Which the eldest, which is the antediluvian of the Zamitzi, sort of manifested into the world, and people thought he was dead, but he wasn't. Hence the hence it being Zamitzi, like quite literally attached to the original Zamitzi.
Because I forget, it was early on. I did the designs where I had turned everyone's symbol sideways or upside down for that one session, and then I forgot to ever change mine back because I didn't notice, and I think it was Darth Caustic who was like, "What is wrong here?" Why is your? I was like, honestly, I'm gonna keep it that way. I'm not putting it back.
Yeah.
That's why I have Andy's a little askew because of the banicula.
Just
It's
a
not
little bit.
perfectly lined. It's a little askew because of the banicula shit.
I did love tossing in the weird sort of Easter egg appearances, like having what is obviously a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show up. Like, I never call it that on screen because, you don't want
Copyright.
to deal with copyright. But yeah, it's obviously one of them watching because it was a running gag from a different game that the rest of us had played. And so I was like, I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to bring it in. And so I brought it in, and it was, so they were at, like, the stinger at the end of one of the episodes was them being watched by one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. who promptly goes back to New York.
Yep, that's it. That's all she wrote.
But yes, I did that. I had Banicula show up because, of course, I did. I wanted to have the silly sort of. I think at the time that I brought in Banicula, we had wrapped up some really heavy story with Eileen a little bit. Like there, we've been doing some heavy stuff with Eileen, and it was very, dark. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring in something silly to sort of offset this a little bit, which is why I brought in the Banicula reference.
Oh, all the Charlies.
Oh yes, all the Charlies. One of my favorite running gags. There are so many characters named Charlie, including
Charlie, and
the
the
dog.
And then
thing-
without even realizing,
Yeah.
Andy's like, Charlie the puppy. Oh my
and
god.
we're all like losing it, and it poor
What are
Andy's
you
like,
doing? Don't
what?
do this.
It's just like, wait, you know other Charlies? All right.
It's like girl Charlie and boy Charlie in the gang grill, and then there was a Charlie NPC early on. I forgot.
The
think
monk,
they-
the monk,
Charlie's a great name.
mage.
Yeah, it was a member of the Akashic Brotherhood.
It's just like, no, what? No, don't name the dog Charlie. No,
It's too late. It's too late.
And then there were the gangrel, two
Yes.
gangrel, both
girl
of which were
Charlie
named.
and boy Charlie, the bear.
Yeah. Which was
Do you
right
choose
around
the man or the bear.
Naked bear.
Both are pretty threatening right now.
and that came out around the same time that was a running gag on TikTok of choosing the man or the bear. The women will pick the bear. So I came up with the character who was man-shaped, who could turn into a bear.
The man bear.
That was like one of my, I think, like the way that all played out, I think was one of my, like,
I
one
love
of the more
Ollie
impactful.
and Prunella side quests. Ollie and Prunella side quests are probably, I would say, those were my favorite of because they always resulted in us coming back and Sage just being like,
What
okay,
did you
do I even want to
do?
read this report? Do I want to know?
Do I want to watch the session
Do I-
prior, or do I want to go in blind?
But then
Everything's
just
fine.
like,
Everything's
you
fine.
just look at Prunella and you just kind of going, oh, so it went well. She looks like shit.
That's Prunella's like shredded. It's like,
It's like, I would ask how it went, but I can see how it went.
Oh, hold on, wait, gotta do my mod thing.
Yeah, it
McCoy's
was.
like, and all the gang will wear overalls.
Yeah, the whole idea that somehow the clothes come back is that's
Drop
superhero
trow
stuff.
and row.
Yeah, like that's superhero stuff.
superhero werewolf.
Yeah, like no.
We're not Superman. He can't just rip open a suit and he's a bear underneath.
I don't know why it wasn't letting me
Well.
moderate that, but okay.
I got it.
Good. But yes, I will say one of my favorite overall sessions. Just I felt good about what I was like about my own STing and what I was doing with it was the first Halloween episode, the carnival. I really enjoyed doing that. It felt like it was doing what I wanted it to do. It was creepy. And
yeah.
Honestly, all of them, all of the carnival episodes, I had a lot of fun with because I got to veer more into horror when I'm doing those, and it was good to sort of play around with those themes a little more strongly in those episodes.
I love this session when I decided to ask you if I could get a companion, like keep a cat, and I was like, no, I'm not going to eat it. I want to have it.
And I was like, yeah.
I want it to be just this gremlin monster fat thing.
So,
I was
funnily
waiting.
enough, after you officially got Willie, the amount of times I have seen things out in the wild of like whatever the von Willebrand disorder or blood thing is unreal.
You were like, I didn't know this was a thing, and now it's everywhere.
Yep. And I'm like, wild.
Yeah, furless cats are a thing, and
It's a
They-
Sphinx cat.
yeah, the Sphinx cat.
And it was because she was a germaphobe. That's why I wanted a Sphinx cat. It was there would be no pet hair. It was about keeping the apartment clean.
That poor thing was getting bathed like every 5 minutes because those cats have lot oil.
Yeah. But the thing with those cats is the Sphinx cats. They fall into the category of so ugly it's cute.
And he was so ugly.
Yeah.
He was
So I was like, absolutely, this makes perfect sense to me. Yes, of course, Prunella has a Sphinx cat.
Like I was so cagey when it was about naming him. I was like, no, you guys can't. I can't. You're gonna have to hear it in the moment. I thought about it. I did some Googling.
Another thing I enjoyed was when we brought Amelia in as full cast.
Came at her.
I dropped hints in prior episodes as to her connection to Prunella, and watching that slowly develop over episodes was great. That made me so happy to watch that play out.
Oh my goodness, yes. Just realizing that it's like, oh shit. I had a hand in her broodmate's destruction. Oh dear.
Oops.
And she's just like, so my aunt becomes a problem suddenly, and then someone who used to work with my brother is a problem suddenly. Fuck's going on? Everything's being super sus, and I don't know who to trust, but I don't trust other Ventrus or those who work for them.
Also, another favorite is Maurice.
Yeah.
I loved the moment I started playing him. The first message I got in our little chat was, "You are no longer allowed to play Toreador."
Maurice was a good one.
Yeah, he was so catty.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. I think you're confusing So Catty with Paolo.
No, Paolo.
That was another
amazing.
fun moment.
Paolo was always fun when he appeared.
Like,
What are you doing eating my fucking touchstones?
Out of character.
I
I'm like,
didn't
why
know
would
it
you
was a
not think-
touchdown.
Why would he be coming around all the time?
Look, he was delicious. Okay, I'm just saying.
He was delicious and he was a big fan of Ollie.
Exactly. He
and
liked
it's
it. It's fine.
He tastes like Xanax and Molly. Good times.
Also, I don't often role play flaming. So playing Paolo and going, "Oh yes, tell me about your friend Ollie. He's sweet, isn't he?" was watching people's eyes kind of get wider and wider the longer I played the character. Like, this is the same McCoy.
Please stop.
I mean, granted, the amount of things that I've asked you to name about McCoy, Paolo didn't surprise me when it was just like, he's real dreamy and stuff. I'm just like, yeah, this is one of the few faces of McCoy. Watching everyone else's reactions was great,
Tell
though.
me about Ollie. He's daunting.
Ollie made Paolo's night.
He's
Followed
probably
by
still waiting for that call.
call me.
I was
Change that.
going to, but somebody said I wasn't allowed to.
No eating my touchdowns.
Fine,
dating
I'll have
my
to find
touchdown.
someone else to fix, like a 1,000-year-old Kindred.
Hey,
It's
focus
easy.
on your bag
Fine.
of bones over there that Why does he have sunglasses and a sheet on? What? This isn't Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. Another fun running gag.
Like, I wanted us to maybe get to Christmas so we could wrap him in Christmas lights. Just like we've completely given up on solving the problem of Rex, and now he's an ornament.
Like this leads to what comes after, like the question of what happens to these characters now that the campaign is over. The I could absolutely see Rex still hanging out in the apartment and like being
Wrapped in Christmas.
like wrapped in Christmas lights with the sheet over him the whole time. Why is the
Sunglasses.
sheet? Why is the sheet over him? Well, it'd be unsanitary if we left
There's
him out.
so many pictures of Willie climbing on him. It's
Yes,
unreal.
yes.
Ollie once had to chase him down because he got a finger.
Just one.
Had to put that finger back.
I
Okay,
think I know the answer to this question, but we have a question from the audience. What part of vampire life did you find RPing the most difficult? I'm going to go ahead and say that I think the answer is going to be feeding.
Yeah.
Because it's the ickiest. It's the one that it's one of the things that actually got like an out of play comment of, hey, can we not do this as often on camera? Because it was really icky. So
I don't understand how Farmer gives you more humanity. I would rather be eating people. People are awful. They're not.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like
like, why are we getting more? They're doggies.
because at that point, right? You're higher up on the food chain. Animals are one step removed, a little bit more. Think about it, right? You have there are entire cultures of people that will primarily eat insects, right? And we don't even think for a moment about eating insects, and except as a novelty experience. It's kind of the same, at least in my eyes, whenever you become a vampire. Suddenly, what used to be tasty like a steak, an animal, is not going to appeal.
Unless you're Prunella, then.
well,
Unless
yeah,
you're
yeah.
Farmer. But yeah, the nuance to Farmer where they're like, you get extra humanity. I always stared at that after that first scruffy going, that's some bullshit. I have never felt this kind of upsetness.
So
you get
I've never
points
been
of
this like distraught after feeding in a normal VTM. I fuck people, but dog.
look. You get a point of humanity. You lose a point of animalism, not the ability, but animal. I got it.
No,
So,
I took because then he was like,
Animality.
why didn't you want to talk to the animals? Do you want to talk to your food? Do you want your food to talk back?
It does
So,
all the time.
as a thing that, so I run another game like as a home game with friends, and it's not the same tone. We were going for comedy for a lot of this, so I didn't lean heavy into the feeding most of the time. But when I run up my home game, I lean heavily into it because Vampire is a game of personal horror. You should feel gross feeding. You absolutely should feel gross feeding. And so like there is no friendly feel okay with yourself with any of the feeding methods. They are all gross. They are all should make you feel a little bit like a bad person. And Vampire Fifth in particular, among other things, because they don't have the other paths on purpose. What very much leans into the struggle is against your inner demons and the fact that you are doing things that make you uncomfortable just by the fact of your existence. So yeah, it should feel uncomfortable. I backed off of it a lot with this show because we wanted a lighter tone. We wanted comedy. We did, and we're not going to get that if every episode I made you feel awful about the basic fact of your existence every single episode.
I mean, I think that's part of it, but also I think that, like, at least from my perspective, yes, beating is gross. But like, it was not narratively appealing. Like, I mean, sometimes there were some interesting parts, but like, like looking at like the bigger world, it was much more interesting to like feed another time, because it was just better to like experience the world you had created, the world that we all had sort of created, than to just like find a rando and eat them. Like, okay, delicious, I guess. Get sage, lots of drugs. It's fine.
It's also funny because like in a way you have also tuned into one of the problems that occurs whenever one becomes a vampire. At first the experience is novel, and then after time these once novel experiences become so common you're bored of them. And just to like a meta extent, being like, I don't like to run feeding scenes, and it's just like, you're bored of them, you're about to do worse things. No.
I here's a hint for STs at home, because I have been running the game for a long time. Give the victims names. Give them names. Give them names and backstories.
Yes.
Rude.
So that when you have this person that you are seducing, or like maybe you're gaslighting into allowing you to feed on them, that you know who they are, you know what their story is, you know they have their own private struggles. That is a good way to drive home how uncomfortable feeding should be. Like I said, wasn't doing that here, except for Scruffy. Scruffy was
that dog in the park.
There was that dog in the park.
Miniature pinscher.
Yeah.
And the other Sphinx, because there were two. I kept one. I ate the other.
My Amelia's first one that I got a messy crit on, and oh god, what do I do?
Stop killing people and dogs. And
this is my first.
Well, yeah, and that's standard vampire experience.
Yep.
So let me.
So what you're saying is you have 100% kill rate. That's what you're saying? It's kind of a lot.
But you and I discussed this like very early on, like unlike with the feeding with everyone, because I stuck with being a ghoul the whole time. But I wanted to do that. I wanted to keep Sage a ghoul until the end. Whatchamacallit? My struggle, but after a while it kind of was no longer there because of all the stuff we were doing, was the status of being a ghoul compared to like all of these kindred who can just kind of in an anarch society, in a sense, say whatever the fuck they want to whoever the fuck they want. And I'm like, I can't say shit. I can't talk back as much as I want to. I gotta be a good little pet right now.
Yep.
They want my Malkavian to walk in, but they want me to stay. Do you want her to go insane?
Yes.
I mean that's the struggle with playing ghouls. It is the inherent problem of playing a ghoul in vampire, because they are treated like property. They are treated like not even second class. They are. Oh, you're slightly better than food, but only slightly. Except for the maybe to your dominator who treats you nice so that you are a good ghoul.
You are at best a trained animal.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as it goes, did you have problems with animal feeding? I think we talked about it a little bit. Mouse, you want to talk about it some more?
Yes. No. Yeah. It's just going in, I'd never been a farmer before, and so playing it out, thinking about how much more me, the player, real life terms, I genuinely feel like I would have harder time drinking from a dog or a cat or a horse and feeling okay with it after than I would with a total faceless person. I don't get people are awful. I'd get over it. So it was just sort of me just being like, I really don't like this experience and I don't really want to do it a lot.
Yeah.
And I genuinely would choose to not use discipline sometimes to save myself the worry of having to feed too soon. I was like, no, we're saving lives. Let's just let somebody else try something first.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, it was one of those ones where we were swinging the line back and forth between horror and humor. It is inherently ridiculous that this vampire wakes up and immediately drains a labradoodle. Like, as a gag, it is absolutely a viable gag in a vampire world. It felt very.
Oh, it ripped the Band-Aid off, I think, for all of us.
Yes, it felt very what we do in the shadows, which is where I was
like for an
"I'm
opening scene to a show. That is, gee, I wonder what this show's gonna be like. Okay.
Now we know. All right.
And then the moment I realized what pigmented wax meant, I didn't know what it meant right away, and I was like, wait, crayons? Crayons? Has it always been crayons?
100%.
You were just so stone-faced and consistent. Even McCoy used the term. So when I finally was like, what would this even look like? Pigmented what? Nope. Crayons!
The other part of that particular gag at the first episode with Scruffy is you spent the rest of the episode trying to keep Feather from figuring out that you had just killed the dog
in the bag in the trunk. Because I feel like that broke Bryson real quick.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can you go get that bag that feels like it's got bones in it? Don't
look too
It was
hard.
love at first garbage disposal.
He walked in and was like, I got this. Give me all your corpses. I'm your man.
But yeah, no, I that was fun. So for you guys, for y'all, what do you think your character is going to be doing from here on? What do you think their path is after this?
Well, you left a hook with that
I
text from Hawk for Prunella to maybe move out.
Would Prunella move out?
Well, I mean,
would she be with her ghoul lover boy?
I know that Katie's like response for Sage on the honeymoon was like, she can't go on a honeymoon. I'm like, she doesn't have to keep living with us. Y'all can go live on your own. Though last time I brought that suggestion up, God forbid, I want you to have your own damn life.
Okay.
That was so good.
To be fair,
I was just like, how is this conversation going so badly? I don't understand. I'm being so fucking supportive right now, and all I'm doing apparently.
Oh no. I, as the player, knew exactly what was going on. It is the way Prunella said it that Sage is like, how
it's fucking
dare
Prunella.
you?
I can't have her say things normal. That's not Prunella.
So Sage was just like, I'm
it's like
sorry.
2.5 years
what?
in and you can't translate Prunella.
I
Yeah,
am sleep
I
deprived. I don't even remember what happened the session prior, but I know it was like one of those ones where Sage was out all day. So she was like exhausted. And it was just like, you know what? No, we're gonna start some shit. I don't get to make rouse checks and be hungry and angry. Oh,
I
Prunella
don't
said
get
that.
compulsions.
You can just be hangry. You can absolutely be hangry anytime you want as a ghoul. It's a thing you can
So
do.
that she was tired and hungry.
What do you think Sage has a happily ever after with Bryce? I mean, it's the world of darkness, so it's not happily ever after,
It's
but
Newark World of Darkness, though.
yeah, it is.
So
Newark.
it's funnily after.
Oh no, they're definitely having their like little happily ever after, but in their own way. Like she definitely like humored Prue by being like, "Fine, I'll wear a reception dress that you want to make."
I think a really good way to ask this question is, would the grief and the regret be worth it?
Ooh.
Because it's inevitable, right?
Yeah.
Is it better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all? It's always a good question to ask.
Yeah. Do you think Sage at the end of things, like maybe Sage gets embraced or Bryce gets embraced? How do you think Sage would react?
Circumstances probably are important.
It would definitely be circumstantial. Like what caused the embrace? Was it just that time?
Who
There
embraced?
no Yeah, who embraced them? Like there's a lot of variables to that. And this is also partially going off of discussions you and I have had. Sage would accept the embrace depending on what it was. Huh?
Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
We're here.
Okay.
We can hear
We're
you.
here.
I thought I heard Mouse say something and I was confused.
Nope,
Nope.
that's just the last little remnants of Malkavian delusion. You're fine.
It is.
I told
I'm
you,
a
you can never get
Malkavian
rid of
now.
all the Malkavian. It's always it's there.
Nah,
There's just no.
she got the long bond fly, you know.
I do
mean,
have the long bond flaw.
Of course you do.
No, I actually didn't give that. So many other flaws though.
so
Yeah, with the embrace, it would definitely be circumstantial on how she would react. Because of the amount of Kindred lore she's learned, she would be like, I am getting a hysterectomy and you're getting your tubes, like your like a vasectomy, like as soon as we're officially a married couple, because I am not making future revenants.
Yes.
Like, we're not making the next revenant bloodline.
Come on, let's revenant it
Whatever's
up.
going on in my
The Rid
mage
bloodline?
werewolf. Samuel hates
The
staring at
children
you,
of
Jeremiah.
Sage and Bryce.
Like, no, like
Uh,
she'd honestly just be like preparing to take over for when gold inevitably goes and being like, all right, well, now that we have his criminal empire, let's do some shit.
I-
Birdie told me.
I was not afraid to throw some red herrings into the campaign from time to time, for the record. But Eddie, I loved Eddie.
Eddie.
How about
Angie.
Amelia? What is Amelia going to do?
That is a very good question, because it's surprisingly more open-ended than I thought she would get for an ending. So one of the ideas that I had is that she's basically spent a lot of time around Ronaldo and has made a genuine effort to understand the world in the way that he does. She doesn't fully get it, but you know, she can loosely translate. Couple that with the knowledge from one of the Thin Bloods that we rescued under the Statue of Liberty, being like, "Oh, hey, you can make your blood do some really weird things," and I see her going, at least in one direction, going the traditional thin blood alchemy route, and supplementing that with the knowledge that Ronaldo has. But eventually, I do see a point where Ronaldo is too far gone to even use that magic, and she spends that time trying to take care of him until, you know, there comes time to make a choice.
Mhm.
Well, yeah.
And that would be about the time that that her sire, a Salubri, comes back and is basically teaching her a lesson as pertains to whatever she might be seeking out. But my angel, my sire, named Angel, I see coming back, and possibly at some point, because of course, it'd have to end this way. Amelia finally becomes a full-blooded vampire, but she's a Salubri, and now has to. She goes from being a Ventruse ghoul who fucking learned everything about that and was somebody who was ruthless and ambitious to, well, now she's got empathy. Now she gives a shit. And she's like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this. But
Well.
she tries. Like she's got to be good at whatever she does, and if it's in helping, then yeah, she's gonna be good at it.
So, Wex,
Well, let's see.
do you think Ollie will survive?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he'll survive. I think he'll survive. I also think that he will somehow accidentally free or release Dracula from whatever this is, and probably without trying or meaning to, help him like take over all of New York. Or like that's just what I feel like is gonna happen.
Oh, I'm sure he has other plans for you.
I can fix him. It's okay. I can fix it.
I can fix him. I can make him worse.
Probably.
I'm sure somewhere in the ether, Dracula has a child that can be easily entertained by Ollie.
Oh yes, absolutely. How do you like enclosures?
Big dumb artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Fae friends. That's a hookup.
Yeah. So, do any of you have a question for me? Like, you guys have been my players for over 3 years, so.
I have a question. What
Sure.
are some plot lines that you wished you could have explored a little bit more fully, whether they be main story or, a side plot?
I would have probably enjoyed seeing you all sort of explore a relationship with Gold and his history. That would have been fun, but we'll do that in a future campaign.
Mhm.
I always wanted to see you all bite the bullet and go spend time with Father Ignatius a little bit and find out why he was there.
I wanted to
Why
so bad.
was he
We
there?
should do a Christmas special for
For
that
real.
episode.
We go to
Oh.
a Christmas potluck. Because I even put that in
finally do
the
the
question in the chat. I was like, if we
I'm
ever went to a
down.
potluck, what would happen? Because you don't have to. It's not like they do the potluck in the sanctuary. We wouldn't
No.
be in the sanctuary. So I'm like, that's a possibility. It's not as crazy as it sounds.
Yeah, that said, like, I didn't really, I was tossing out a bunch of little things to see what you went for. So I didn't have a lot of regret on like things that didn't get explored. like once we decided to end the story overall, I realized that I kind of wish I had taken maybe a little bit more time to resolve the Eileen story, but that's about it. The rest of it, like I don't really have any regrets. You guys poked at everything that you wanted to poke at, and I just sort of, okay, I'm going to be adding details going forward because they're going towards this. Let's open this up so that they have something to look at, and this is cool. So no, I don't have a lot of regrets. Just like little things that might have been interesting.
Sure.
Adam is one that I was like,
Oh
Adam.
yeah.
he would have been
Yeah.
fun.
I wanted to have at least one time where we kind of worked with the werewolf.
Yeah.
Where he did pay it back at some point. Where he was like, look, I'm going to give you all a heads up on something that we found out about. And we don't normally help you types, but helping y'all helps us. So.
Yeah. But those are the only things that are like even a little bit along those lines. So.
But again, the werewolf thing could be a one shot.
It could. Were there any others? Any other things that you wanted to know about now that everything's done?
Grand scheme of things, our impact on Gold's barony, mostly good
Mostly.
or mostly bad.
I mean, we saved his barony.
I was like, we did help him really big
Yeah.
time and publicly. And then the Brujah were like, no, y'all motherfuckers crazy and nobody wants to screw with you.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no,
we're what?
yeah. You had an enormous impact on his barony. Some of that is things that would have happened anyway. And you resolved it. So you fixed it. Like they could have sent somebody else to go check out that flesh tunnel.
Should have.
Really should have.
We
Someone
went.
a lot more
We got
qualified.
sick with the guy that grew his leg back, and then we found out that he was a total evil old guy. And we
Hey.
still were just like, you know what? We're
Hey,
not.
look,
We're just
you're
gonna
just
not go back over there.
you're gonna need to call
And
it
then we
Ghostbusters
actively
on
kept
this
other
one.
people away from it. So we were like, we're not gonna fix it, but we're not gonna let it get worse.
Like our job, right? Like the main reason we existed within the barony was quite literally make sure that nobody got lost in the flesh tunnels. Like we were posted right outside of it. We were guard dogs. We were a guardian coterie.
Yeah.
I was. Go ahead.
I have a question for you, Jeremiah.
Okay.
If you were joining this table as a player instead of the storyteller, what would the character you played be?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah. What kind of misfit reject would you have decided was
Misfit
okay?
Reject.
We're a couple of misfits, not a couple. Well,
That's a good question.
we're also a couple of nitwits.
I think with the makeup of the group, I would want to play a Nosferatu.
Oh, I knew it.
It would be a Nosferatu just to fit into the vibe of the group. It made sense to have the guy who looks like the classic vampire.
What?
yeah.
Influencer? That's brutal. It's in the math community.
and I would say his profession would be he's a florist, and he's actually a romantic.
I know, and he and Prue would just so get each other, and he and Ollie would so get each other.
But yeah, like I would play this like hopeless romantic florist Nosferatu.
You fall in love with
That's
Sarah.
incredible.
Yeah, he would totally fall in love with pretty much whoever showed up. that week. Like
Love
he'd
this.
develop a crush on Eileen. He would develop a crush on this person. Or
Oh man,
that
I would have
person.
loved that if everybody else
That
was
would've been
where I
great.
was with Eileen, and then we've got your character over here, and we're all just like slow turn
She's
going.
pretty.
"Gah."
But that is the character I would make for this particular chronicle.
So and so, what are you doing? I'm arranging a bouquet. What are you gonna be doing with it? I'm sending it to someone. What's?
Who?
Give me that card.
And
Give me
then,
the fucking card.
but on top of that, it wouldn't just be a bouquet. Knowing Jeremiah as a player and an ST for as long as I have known you, you would literally look up the language of flowers and make bouquets based off of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and however long, because Eileen's like middle, I would have probably caught on a lot of language by that point. So I'd have been like, "That's an interesting selection of flowers there." Leaps across him and snatches the card, just like motherfucker. It's for
But
no
yeah.
one. It's a client. I swear to God.
Yeah,
Don't
I
seduce my aunt, Amelia. Tell him not to seduce her.
I feel attacked with the flower language thing because another game I play, like I have a character who has done things with like flower language in like 10 different ways that nobody gets. It's fantastic. I love every minute of it.
But yeah, no, I think that would be a fun character for this particular group of misfits. Of like he's the sweet guy who's always falling in love with the wrong people, who's like classic ugly vampire with who sells flowers. He's just like a sweet guy. Oh yes, that'll be very nice.
Yeah. That would have been, yeah, I love it. That's a good answer.
And because it is this game, I would make his feeding type Siren.
Of course you would. Love it.
Oh, poor thing.
Every second
Oh,
I got, I would
God.
just be like, slut.
There he goes. He's got a
Just-
hunger frenzy again.
She and knowing Prue, she'd look at Ollie and just be like,
just
"Could you please teach him how to do?"
eventually, in order to assist him, like we're just basically paying a bunch of sex workers to pretend to be flattered.
Hey, they work hard.
They
And
work
he's
hard
a
for that
dating
money.
hacker.
Catfishing people
That
on
money
dating
that
apps.
that money that
He does really
we're
well with the
paying
Ren
them.
Fair ladies. Always dressing up in that full armor. Never takes off the helmet. Not until it's too late.
The armor
However, the
stays
cod
on
piece is
during.
removable.
But okay. Any other questions?
It's just
No,
like,
we
I
need to
don't know how
explore
move on
this
from
character some more.
Oh,
No.
Prunella would be with Hawk. I assume Ollie would probably maybe get new roommates. I don't know.
he will have definitely new roommates. He'll be in a new place.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like new roommates. That's what he gets. We met one.
Welcome to Transylvania.
But they got pulled all the way to Transylvania. Is that what happened?
The world is round.
I knew it was a long trip, but ow.
I
You
think
can go under the ocean, like under the. Okay, I have no idea. It could work. It could work.
I genuinely think that Amelia just wouldn't end up with anybody. Like, a romantic relationship was never anything that crossed her mind.
Same. And then someone's dice got all up in my business.
I love that everyone was constantly in love with Prunella, and Prunella had no idea.
And then I was like, I don't even know how to approach that really, because my last character was Mags, and so I was like, I haven't really spent any time in that at all since V5 at all. So I don't really understand, because she's got such high humanity. I was like, should I be letting that be a factor? And McCoy's just like, I don't know, should you? I'm just going, I I don't want to make this decision. Somebody roll dice.
So the reason for so many people falling for Prunella was you had deliberately made her absolutely contentious, wanted to get in an argument with a chair. She would argue with anything.
Everybody's
And I was
broke.
like, the comedy here, the comedy is the most contentious, irritable person has the most people trying to court them. This is funny. and so there are a bunch of people who were interested in her. And the funny part, for those of you who don't know what goes on behind the scenes, is after one session, Mouse figured it out. It's like, and like we were like, yeah, of course they're into you. What?
And this person, and this person, and this person. And then the
Like,
lights
you
were
so
do
good.
realize that Alice is in love with you.
What?
Why? What's the point of that? What good does that do anybody? Like, why?
The fact that Mouse didn't know as well as Prunella didn't know made it so much
Oh, that
better.
killed me. The fact that Mouse didn't know.
And you're like, gold
Like-
has also got a thing for you. No. No.
Yeah.
No. 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 No.
Yeah, France is probably a thing for you too, but you know, it's
No. 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 His love is for Sage's mom. No. 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 No.
No. Thankfully, none of your characters will have to worry about Francis anymore.
yeah. Yay. Unless he comes back as a ghost and haunts us, it's fine.
Yeah.
Storyteller was
fact.
like, I made him and I'll unmake him. Yeah.
Fun fact: vampires do not come back as ghosts.
Yeah, but this is Newark. Maybe there'll be a ghost pretending to be Francis.
Wraiths? They become
Uh,
wraiths? Can they become wraiths?
No, they can't.
They don't
Even
have
if they have
anything to.
Golconda?
They drop immediately to oblivion. They cease to exist. There is no
Even
heaven or
with
hell.
Golconda?
Golconda might make a difference, but for the most part, no.
It's Golconda, mechanically speaking, is meant to be a damn near impossibility. So
That's why it's a road to Golconda.
Yeah.
And not just Golconda.
Yeah. But no, vampires generally do not leave souls behind. They just cease to exist. Which, you know, is tragic. But
We are echoes of the souls living in their
look,
bodies.
to sort of bring things around, we are making a new campaign.
yeah,
Set in Newark, but in the 1920s.
100 years ago.
Yep, 1925. Prohibition is still a thing. And
Stock market hasn't crashed yet.
the stock market has not crashed yet. There
Women
are flappers.
have the vote.
Yep.
Barely, but yes.
It was a time of a lot of highs and lows, the 1920s. Gangs. Tremendous explosion in certain art fields. Jazz was seeing its heyday at this point.
Roads were being built, like major ones that still exist to this day.
Yeah, like a lot of stuff happened back then. And being a vampire during all of that is going to be an interesting experience. For one thing, if you're used to playing vampire now, guess what you don't have? Cell phones.
Yeah. We didn't do very good with cell phones anyway.
No, to be fair, that's true. But like a lot of the things that we take for granted today just didn't exist. And I think that will take some getting used to. But we've got some players who will be introduced with this. So people have played ghouls with us before. People like Tyler and Lakar and Teco and various others have all said that they were interested in making appearances and joining the cast in some capacity. Some more permanent, some more drop in and out. But yeah, so we're going to have that new dynamic, and some things will be the same. Clarence Gold does exist in 1925. So there's that. There are a few other characters that exist in 1925, but for the most part, the scene looks different, and we'll be seeing how everybody navigates it. Does anybody want to talk about what they're thinking with their character right now? Like, none of us have like hammered out exactly, but what are you leaning right now?
All right, I'll go first. I'm leaning pretty heavily into this concept of a Ravnos who is both a rum runner, but also as a side hustle, runs seances. Has no ability to contact the supernatural, but that doesn't stop him. It's fine. So that's sort of the baseline. I haven't named the character yet, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm still sort of working on like just figuring out what the character should be like. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
I myself am looking at playing a detective of some sort. Detectives are one of my favorite archetypes to play. So it is no surprise that I'm going back to one, especially for, where film noir roughly took place. I am I'm going to say that I am from a clan that is fairly common, but I'm not going to say what it is until the game starts. I'd like to keep this a surprise, especially to the rest of my players.
All right.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
I'm sure I will.
Like just
I'm not worried.
I'm always worried. So I was inspired when McCoy decided to share that last little bit where Annabelle and Cecil now started showing up to Sarah after we already fixed her. Like, what is going on? Oh, she's a medium with an unfortunate gift, curse, a tether magnet, a tether lightning rod, a fettering tether. Just problem. I like this. Who's your grandma? I'm gonna beer, and then I'm gonna make her a Malkavian. Isn't that just a huge problem? All over the place. But not just any Malkavian. She's going to be one of Micah Bump's Feathers Sire's broodmates creations. So I will have two connections to a character NPC and a former character in our game. Because I like connecting like that. It's fun. I might even be that person who dresses like someone. More ugly
Very
dresses.
And Katie?
I am not as fleshed out as the rest. I'm always the last to figure out something. But I will tell everyone that I am playing something outside of my norm. So I will not be playing someone who's always trying to gather the intel and get the information and know things.
You could play that, but be really bad at it.
No, I'm gonna play something else that I think is a little more entertaining for y'all and the audience. And y'all are just gonna be more entertained on me struggling with why is my wits and awareness 3? Why is this 2? Why can't I make this roll?
So
You have to rely on other people with better stats.
So
It's gonna be
so
okay.
so you're not going to be playing your usual thing.
No, I'm not gonna be playing my usual thing.
Okay. So should I take it as a challenge to make you cry then?
Yes, make her cry.
Is it really that much of a challenge if I
I
do
mean-
every session?
Don't take 3 years this time.
No, he's got to cry a couple of times in Newark.
I was talking
just
about me.
Not
It was
like
like, wait
bawl
till
it.
the end. Oh,
But yes, for those of you who do not know Katie as well as some of the rest of us, famous for crying in sessions, and we love her for it. So
Fat and snacking.
that too, yes. But with that said, I think I'm going to try and wrap this up. Does anybody have any other final thoughts?
Been one hell of a ride, y'all.
It
It's
has
been
been.
fun.
Wait
I've
for the
laughed.
next game.
We've said it before. We said it so many times. Y'all, there were days that sometimes 1, 2, maybe all of us show up for show. And we're all just we're just gonna do it. We've had days, we're tired, we had work, we're not feeling good. And then by the end of the session, we all feel great. We're so happy we didn't roll 0. We're so happy that we had whatever that session was. So this has meant so much to us in ways that we can only really feel individually, but we've always appreciated all our viewers too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this has been a fun outlet for me. It is nice to have something a little bit light, particularly when everything is dark. Like everything, the world is on fire. We all have reasons to feel stress and worn out, and having a place where I can come and make my friends laugh brings me joy. So there's that.
Hmm.
And we're funny as hell.
Yeah, we are.
We're
Yeah.
so funny.
Anyone else? A final thought? Doesn't look like it. All right. Well, in that case, we will see you guys when the Newark in 1925. Until then, y'all have a good one. Take care of each other.
Good night, everyone.
We love y'all.
Now, y'all.
Good night.